If you awaken from this illusion and you understand that black implies white, self implies other, life implies death, or shall I say, death implies life, you can feel yourself not as a stranger in the world, but as something that's not as something here on probation, not as something that's arrived here by fluke, but you can begin to feel yourself. You can begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental. I'm not trying to sell you on this idea that, in the sense of converting you to it. I want you to play with it. I want you to think of its possibilities. I'm not here trying to prove it. I'm just putting it forward as a possibility of life to think about. So then, let's suppose that you are able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream, and that you could, for example, have the power within one night to dream of 75 years of time, or any length of time you ever wanted to have. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes, all the wildest wishes you could have. And you would have every kind of pleasure you could conceive. And after several nights of 75 to 100 years of total pleasure each night, you would say, well, that was pretty great, but now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control, where something's going to happen to you, or I don't know what it's going to be, but leave it up to fate. And you would dig that, and you'd definitely come out and you would say, wow, that was a close call. It was too close of a shave, wasn't it? Then you would get more and more adventurous. And you would make further and further. And it outgambles what you would have dreamt. It outgambles any dream. And finally, you would dream of where you are right now. You would dream the dream of living the life that you are actually living today. That would be within the infinite multiplicity of choices you would have, and of playing that you weren't God. Because the whole nature of Godhead, according to this idea, is to play that he's not. So, in this idea then, everybody's fundamentally the ultimate reality. Not God in a political sense or in a political Kingsley sense. This idea then of God being the self, of God as a sense of being the self. The deep down basic whatever there is to life. And you are all that. You're all of it, only you're pretending not to. You're pretending you're not.